How are you, my SSC candidates? I hope everyone is okay and also still fine. Today I am going to start our new topics and also new chapter. Here's the new chapter is basically chapter 12 and its the headline is the heredity in organisms and evolution. You know what's the heredity? It's also related very important topics and also the applied biology. Yes, now I am going to start the heredity in organisms. What is the heredity in organisms? Heredity is the passing of traits from father and mother to their offspring through generations. In-depth discussions and research concerning heredity are done in the special branch of biology called genetics. Again, I also give some examples here. All the organisms in the world are characterized with their own unique features. Features of individual organisms pass to the next generations and evolve in them. This natural principle is applied to all organisms in the world. This is why rice plants grow from rice seed and mangoes grow from the mango. And also the jute does also the same way. In this way, characteristics of species are maintained in offspring through generations. Now, I also discuss about the next topics. Basically, our next topics is the hereditary materials. Here's the hereditary materials. I also explain the one structure is the chromosome, second is the DNA, third is the RNA, and also the final and also last is the gene. Here's the first structure is the chromosome. Have you any idea about the chromosome? It also stays the nucleus. What is the chromosome? Here, the main hereditary materials in the chromosome. It is spread in the nucleoplasm of a nucleus as a thread-like structure named the chromatin. The scientist Strasburger first discovered the chromosomes in 1875. Across species, the number of diploid set of chromosomes. Here's basically two sets chromosomes. One set from father and also the another set is come from the mother. Maybe 2 or 1600 in length. Chromosomes may be from 3.5 to 30 microns. Here's the microns basically 1100 divided by 1 mm or the millimeter, and in wide 0.2 to 2.0 microns. The functions of chromosome is to carry genes which control the characteristics of organisms to the offspring from the parents. Colors are basically, I'll just give some example. Colors of human eyes, nature of hair, compositions of skin, etc. Continue intact through the flow of heredity carried by chromosomes. This is why chromosomes are designated as the physical basis of heredity. Please everyone marks this lines. Basically, physical basis of heredity is the another example is the chromosome. Our second structure, the hereditary materials. Here is the hereditary materials is also the DNA. Full meaning is of the DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Please everyone see the books and also the structure. Here's the structure. First structure is the phosphate or the inorganic phosphate, and second is the 5 carbon ribose sugar, and third is the nucleotide, basically adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine. Here's the adenine and guanine, it's also the purine, and thymine and cytosine is also the pyrimidine. Now, I also give the short briefly. DNA. The main component of a chromosome is deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. It is usually a double-strand spiral structure of polynucleotides. Basically, it's also I just draw the another structure of DNA. Its structure is the spiral bond and also the two basically structure. Here's the DNA, basically it's also the polynucleotide. One strand is complementary to the other. In it, there are 5 carbon sugar, basically nitrogen bases, adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine, and inorganic phosphates. These three components collectively are called a nucleotide. DNA is a stable substance in a chromosome. In 1953, American scientist Watson and British scientist Crick first described the double helix or the helical structure of DNA, and for this contribution both of them won the Nobel Prize. Nitrogen bases are of two types, a purine and a pyrimidine. I just explained few time ago. Adenine and guanine and the purines, the cytosine and thymine. The adenine of one strand bond with the thymine of another bond by 2 hydrogen bonds. Please everyone see, here the 2 hydrogen bond is also attached adenine and thymine, and here the 3 hydrogen bond is also attached guanine and cytosine. Here's the adenine and guanine, thymine and cytosine. The adenine of one strand bond with the thymine of another strand bond by hydrogen bonds, and guanine of a helix. Helix connects with the cytosine of another helix by 3 hydrogen bond. This bond is always developed between a purine and pyrimidine. So a strand of DNA is complementary to another strand but not identical to it. A complete twist in a helix is 34 angstrom. Yes, what is the 34 angstrom? Basically, here's this structure is twist structure and is also the 34 angstrom. Here's the 34 angstrom, basically 10 nucleotide. Here's the identical. So a strand of a DNA is complementary to another strand but it's not identical to it. A complete twist in a helix is 34 angstrom. Yes, I also repeat this line. Long and in a complete twist there are 10 nucleotides. So the length between the two adjacent nucleotides is 34 angstrom divided by 10. Here's also the 3.4 angstrom. I just see this structure is the 3-4 angstrom and total length is the 34 angstrom. Here's the 34 angstrom basically. So the length between the two adjacent nucleotides is 3.4 from top to bottom. The two strands of polynucleotides in DNA are positioned antiparallelly. It looks like rungs in a twisted ladder. The bases are connected flatly and horizontally in position from the axis. Dear students, it's the chemical basis of heredity and the another name is DNA. It's also the very important topics for your next exam. Basically, it is also the hereditary materials, and again I also repeat, it's also the another topics is the chemical basis of heredity. Here's our another topic is RNA. RNA means the ribonucleotide acid. And the RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. Most RNA is contains single polypeptide strand. Basically, its structure is the single polypeptide strand and sometimes it's also twist. Here's the RNA. It is composed of 5-carbon ribose sugar, inorganic phosphate, and also the nitrogen base. Here's the nitrogen base. Another structure is basically adenine, guanine, uracil, and cytosine. Here's the basically not thymine. It's also the another structure is the uracil. Against the uracil in the genome of RNA virus, RNA is found as a permanent component or the inherited component. In some viruses, i.e. tobacco mosaic virus, DNA is the absent. The viruses which are not composed of DNA possess RNA as their nucleic acid. In the situation, the RNA serves itself as the hereditary materials. Our last topic is the gene. Where's the gene state? Basically in the DNA, it's also the another point. This structure is locus and it's also state the gene. Here's the gene. What is the gene? The unit of controlling all the visible and invisible sites and characters of organisms is called the gene. Genes are positioned throughout the chromosomes of organisms. The location of a gene throughout a chromosome is called the locus. For a specific characteristics, a gene is responsible. In some cases, a characteristic is expressed through cooperative action of several genes. In other cases, one gene controls more than one characteristic. From different research, it is clear that a gene is a perfect master of heredity. Please everyone remarks this the line. Basically, perfect structure of heredity is the another name is gene. By taking necessary signals from DNA, RNA enters into the ribosome of the cytoplasm, and according to that signal, protein is synthesized. In the cases of a eukaryotic cell, this protein synthesized is first deposits in the endoplasmic reticulum and then it passes through the Golgi body and vesicles. Meanwhile, the protein undergoes many changes and is carried to necessary places. In the prokaryotic cell, protein directly reaches the destination. This protein determines the nature and speed of biochemical reactions, and from that, the characteristics of living organisms are determined with respect to the environment. These characteristics include everything from the structure to the behavior of any living organisms. It can be expressed as just only the express. Basically, first structure is DNA, and it's also grow the turn over the RNA, and the next topic is the protein, and next topic is the protein, and last structure is the characteristics. Dear students, I just explained today just only the hereditary materials. Here's the hereditary materials. We also know the four types of hereditary materials. One type is chromosomes. We also know what is the chromosomes is also the physical basis of heredity. Next structure is DNA. Very important line and the important topics for your exam. DNA means the deoxyribonucleic acid and the another name is the chemical basis of heredity. Third structure is the RNA. Another topics and the another lines of the ribonucleic acid and it's also the another important structure for the hereditary materials. And it's also the our last topic is the gene. It's also the master brain of the genes. Today that's all. Thank you my students.